Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video what we're going to do is we're going to do another Akashic record one, and we're basically going to ask what the Akashic records want you to know about happiness right now. So I did another one not that long ago about what the Akashic records wanted to tell you about support right now, and I guess, I don't know, over the year I'll just randomly choose words that have got deep meanings for all of us, and we'll just go in and see what the Akashic records want you to know. Everything that they want you to know is all going to be to do with either raising your consciousness or bringing more of whatever that is into your life or whatever. So I'm going to keep it totally open. I'm not going to do any channeling at the beginning of these ones. So basically I'll try and not say a single thing until I turn over all the cards, even though I think we all know I find that hard because stuff just starts coming in. But that's where we're going to try and do it. We're going to have, because these readings are going to be shorter, we're going to have more piles to choose from. So there is going to be 5 piles for you guys to choose from. So the question, so basically just feel intuitively into yourself, etc. And is your message in pile number 1, this crystal? Is your message in pile number 2, this crystal? Is your message in pile number 3, this crystal? Is your message in pile number 4, this crystal? Or is your message in pile number 5, this crystal? Cool, so we'll go straight in and we'll go to message number 1. Also remember, because these are short, you might get, I don't know, that your answer's in a couple of piles. Take that and just blend it together to make it unique for you. But cool, we'll go straight over to pile number 1. So hi guys, this is message number 1 for all of you that chose this crystal as holding the message for what the Akashic Records wants to tell you about happiness. So I'm just going to put that there, and then we're going to go straight into your cards. Great. So let's see, for a quick, short, sharp message. So message number 1. What does everybody in message number 1 need to know about happiness right now from the Akashic Records? Okay, so you know how this goes. I said I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just going to say little tiny bits that are coming in as I'm shuffling. Only just random stuff, nothing too heavy. Basically what I'm really getting for you guys is instantly the first colours that I see is basically like all the sunshine colours, which looks amazing. So like yellows, oranges, reddy pink, kind of like it's sunset type of colours that are coming in. And it just makes me feel as well that when you guys are happy, your auras and the energy that you kind of put out is really joyful. Like everybody basically knows when you're happy and when you're in a good place, because there's something about your energy field where I feel like happiness, joy, those kind of frequencies are actually just really, really important for your soul as a whole. You know, like some people might resonate more with different types of emotions and things, but it feels like this is a really big one for you guys. And it also does feel like a lot of energy comes out of your heart. And I think your heart, like your heart electromagnetic field is really big. And I feel like you guys are really open. Definitely when you're in a good place, you guys are super, super open, and you are just literally like a shiny sun. But anyway, cool. Let's go straight in. I'm hearing we read nothing reversed. Wow, so to open your reading, you get the World. Another major arcana, and then we also have Strength. Oh wow, 8 of Flames, which is basically 8 of Wands. Then we have Ace of Wands, So lots of kind of fiery energy. Again, this reminds me of those colours that I was seeing in the beginning, the oranges, the reds, literally like all of that. Then we have here the Justice card. We have Five of Pentacles. I actually really like this depiction of Five of Pentacles, so I'll tell you about that in a bit, particularly in this deck. Then we have Exceptionality. I think I've said that word right. Basically exceptional. Then we have, oh wow, Stars in the Sky, Limitless Possibility. Then we have Delusion of Control. I love these cards, they're really cool. And then we have Self-Observation. Okay, so just give me a little minute just while I tune into what is this message for you guys to do with happiness right now. Okay, so the first thing that I'm hearing instantly, it just comes out like bang, is that what the Akashic Records wants you to know right now about happiness is literally that it is literally right in front of you. It is absolutely literally right in front of you. But I'm also kind of getting this thing that, wait, shit, there's so many things coming through, so just 1 minute. Because you guys have got a big energy, or at least at the time of you listening to this reading, you guys are really, have got a lot of power that's like within and around you at the moment, like so much power within and around you. And I just feel like a lot of movements going on, and I do feel like there's something to do with what's going to be making you happy right now is like really going into almost like the unique skills, abilities, understandings, appreciations, creations, whatever it is that you do. You've got like a really unique ability in some kind of way. And I feel like in the past, potentially this unique ability was potentially something where, look at this picture here with these people here. I feel like in the past, this might have been something either when you were growing up as a child or something like that, that whatever is this unique thing that you have, or this real strength that you have, I feel like it might have you might have felt ostracized at some points in the past to do with this. And so I do feel like you guys have been on this journey where sometimes you're maybe not aware that your happiness lies almost in your uniqueness. Like something that you do, or something that you are, or something that you believe, or something that you think is really, really quite unique. But like I say, I do get this really strong feeling with all of these cards here that despite you having this really unique ability in the past, or this unique way of seeing the world, or even like a unique way of being in the world, maybe you're somebody that doesn't kind of relate to society in the same way as that the convention does in some ways. So there's something about you that's really unconventional at your core. And I do feel like you've been on a bit of a journey with this about trying to be true to yourself, but at the same time not sort of being a prisoner to yourself. And I know that sounds really like a strange thing to say, but I feel like you've been on a karmic journey where you've basically been, I suppose the easiest way to say it is basically making peace with who you really are. And I think you're on the process of literally really starting to shine your light and feeling great about who it is that you really are. And if that's not something that you're doing currently, the Akashic Records is saying to you, this is absolutely where your happiness lies. Currently, with whatever is going off in your life, your happiness lies in basically being true to you, no matter how different or wacky or unique or whatever it might be, or if there's people around you as well that are sort of maybe discouraging you to do with some area of your life. I think you really have to take a deep look inside and recognize, is this just really a deeper part of yourself that doesn't accept who you are? And the moment you accept that deeper part of yourself, then you'll find that those people around you that weren't supportive of you in some way to do with whatever this unique skill is or whatever it is that you're doing in your life, they suddenly basically almost overnight change their tune. And that's because this is all just to do with a reflection of where you're currently at in your life. And I do see like so much potential by following that pathway. The Akashic Records is also just saying that you definitely have to be careful. Something that can dim your happiness and dim your light currently is basically going too in on yourself. I think it's really, really important that you actually, it's almost like, give the self-growth part a little bit of a break. You don't need to be constantly observing yourself, understanding where you've kind of lost power or where things haven't gone right or anything like that. I feel like to carry on doing that at this point, at this moment in time, is actually to get trapped in an old karmic cycle, and this is not where your happiness lies anymore. I feel like because the first card that came out was the World, wherever you're at on this journey of whatever this is we're talking about, I feel like you've come to a completion to do with it, and a new beginning is occurring, but the new beginning is still quite on an energetic level, and the new beginning depends on how you're going to focus your energy, essentially. And I'm really hearing that it's more about exploring and creating with these skills and abilities that you have, whatever that might be that you want to do, rather than actually going too in on looking at your self-growth and all of that kind of thing. Because obviously self-growth is important, and it's definitely something that I'm hearing from the Akashic Records you will return to at some point. But I'm actually hearing that currently at the moment, to continue to focus too much on your self-growth over your abilities, your skills, what it is that you want to create, what it is that you are creating, would actually be, ironically, to drain some of your energy. And I know obviously in spiritual communities we're always told about self-growth is a great thing, look inward, change inward, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. But all I know is the Akashic Records are really, really clear that that is not where your power and your happiness lies in this moment. To carry on observing yourself too much, or to carry on reflecting too much, rather than to be actively doing and actively creating in an area of your life, I'm hearing would kind of be to kind of miss an opportunity. And you don't want to miss this opportunity, because I'm hearing that this is where so much happiness will lie for you. And I'm really getting that it's really going to, when I said to you in the beginning, I can just see like you guys have got this really big energy around you at the moment, and it's really kind of orangey and yellows, and it's got a very kind of sunsetty energy. It feels like you guys are supposed to be basking in some moment of joy and happiness to do with how far you've come, rather than focusing too much on those inner parts of yourself and your growth. And one thing that I do really want to say with this card as well, because I really love the Five of Pentacles in this deck. I know the Five of Pentacles isn't always seen as an optimistic card, but I love it in this deck because, and it feels so true to you guys. Look guys, you've already sown a lot of seeds. You've done a lot of work to do with whatever this was about, developing your identity, developing what it is that you want to do, developing your life purpose, developing how you are in a relationship, developing how you are at work, whatever it might be, developing what you've been doing in your house or on your own body, whatever it might be, because it's different for all of you. You've already spent loads of time doing that, and those seeds, they've not only have you sown those seeds, but actually the seeds have grown, and actually they've even flowered. And now what's about to happen is there's a dispersion. All that energy, all of that time that you have put in on yourself internally on this journey, or whatever it is you've been creating, you just need to allow it now to like see how far it can reach without your intervention, without you really doing too much more other than just enjoying what you're doing. Essentially, don't think about reaping the rewards or what's coming next to do with any of this. That will be to lose the point of joy and the point of happiness that you're in and that you're going to. And it would kind of hear as well, because the Eight of Wands is right in the middle of your reading, which we all know, if you know tarot, is kind of like this super fast energy, and it's literally right next to this one here. I feel like the more that you can let go of having to control the direction of your life at this current moment, the more things will rapidly come to you in whatever way that would be. And I'm even going to have to say this, right? Even if you've been looking at pick of cards for a while over a certain topic, whether it's love, money, life purpose, healing, whatever it is, I'm really hearing like stop for a little while. Give it at least a couple of weeks, if not a bit longer. Just allow everything to move without you controlling any of it. Because I don't know why, but all of these cards, apart from these three here, just tell me things are really moving for you. And your happiness is very much in the movement and in the allowing of all of the things to come through. And this card as well, Stars in the Sky, Limitless Possibility. I think you're in this really important or an interesting place, and it's interesting it comes straight after the Five of Pentacles, because it kind of feels like when you let your uniqueness come out, or you know who you are, or you know what you want to do, or you know what you want next in your life, you've like decided and you've really, really focused on it. This has almost then set up a chain energetic reaction where this idea has gone out into the world, or it's gone out into your energy field, out into your life as the Ace of Wands. Then it's gaining momentum, and now the momentum is going to be added to kind of like the direction of what you've done already to it. And then depending on how much you can allow this to flow without intervening in any way. Don't try and control anything at this moment. Don't even try and guess where it's going to go. It's almost like kind of completely just leave it alone, because the more you can leave it alone, the further and the bigger the outcome will be in a positive direction for you. And so it's almost like the Akashic Records are saying to you that at this moment in time, your very happiness lies in literally just completely allowing things to go with the flow, and almost every morning waking up with that excited anticipation of, I wonder what's going to happen next. I wonder what's going to happen next. Because I somehow, and I can't really tell you how, even though it's just coming through the Akashic Records, I'm getting this real kind of like childlike curiosity, and I did for some reason as soon as I saw this one. And again, it reminds me of this, maybe this energy that you might have had as a child, this curiosity for life, this adventure for life, where everything's quite kind of exciting and new and colourful and big and creative, and it's all got stories, and all of the stories are exciting and all of the stories are happy. It reminds me of that kind of energy, and I feel like you're closing out a big cycle where things have been a lot heavier to do with you. And I do feel like you've had quite a lot of karma to do with that in the past, and there has been, and that's just why you've got to be careful that you don't just get stuck in that cycle of like self-growth, self-healing, self-analysis, self-reflection, whatever, because I'm telling you that's done right now. At the moment if you're reading this, you're getting this reading, that cycle is closing if you want to bring more happiness into your life. Because now the way for you to have more happiness is to just recognize that you've done everything, the seeds have even been sown, you've even started to see the effects of some things, even if it's just in how you feel or think about things personally. And now the really exciting thing is seeing where all of the work that you've done, everything that you've done, seeing where life's going to blow it all to, and then therefore what will be the outcome of all of this. But to get the most out of this and to feel that happiness, it really is just to completely and utterly go with that flow and enjoy it in a place of excited anticipation. I'm really getting a vision of that parable. It's that one about I'm going to probably say this a little bit wrong, but it's that one basically where, let me just say it in my way and then it will make sense. So basically there's all of these, I don't know, animals or people or something on the riverbed, right? And then they're all wanting to try and do something different, but they don't trust themselves to go in the river, because once they go in the river has got so much energy, it will just take them wherever they want to go. So some of them jump into the river, and then while they try and allow the river to take them somewhere, they also resist it. So some of them sort of like end up not really going that far down the river, or clinging onto a rock or something like that, because they want the freedom of being able to go with the flow, but they can't quite do it. Then somebody comes along and they do the same pattern. They go in the water, they're trying to flow as far as they can go, but then they get scared, they hold onto a rock, but then in a moment they just realise, you know what, no, I trust the process. And they just have this overriding kind of powerful feeling that they are not only a creator in this life, but they are part of creation. And because they are a creator and part of creation, they can trust the entire process, because they are the process. So therefore there's nothing to fear and there's nothing to need control of, because they are all part of this cycle. So in that moment they let go of the stone or the rock or whatever, and they just fully allow themselves to be taken by the current of the river, and the river takes them all down this place and then takes them to a completely different sandy beach, and it's all amazing. So obviously I've not said that exactly right, but you kind of get what I'm saying. And this is where your happiness lies right now. So your happiness lies in doing that, in making sure that you're no longer too much focusing on the karma. Don't focus on what has been. Don't focus on any past stories anymore. It's over. Definitely don't focus on too much on anything to do with like, what would I say, like childhood stuff. I don't know, anything to do with that, because this is now about who you are now. And I can see, because these two cards came out straight away in the beginning, the World and the Strength card, you are in a very, really just powerful place in your life right now. And it's about recognizing that, recognizing how far you've come, and then recognizing that basically pretty much anything is possible within reason. But it's definitely about also attuning. I think it's about attuning yourself as well, not only to who you have now become, because I feel like some of you might have to do a little bit of a internal upgrade. Like maybe not all of you recognize just how much you have changed and how far you've grown and how you are another person. And I do feel like that recognition is important. For some reason, that recognition energy kind of feels like these two cards coming together. I do feel it's important that you recognize how much you have changed and how far you've grown, because that's also one of the ways in which you will therefore break this karmic cycle, this karmic pattern, and break the need to have to analyze or overly heal or overly change anything, and just recognize that you have everything you now need for the next stages on your journey. And that, to be honest, it's already in motion. I feel like all of this is in motion, and it just really feels like the reason why you've chosen this pile ultimately is just extra confirmation that this is where you're at, and to carry on in this direction. It's definitely about looking forward. I have to say that though. It definitely feels about focusing on the present and focusing on the future. But for some reason, it feels really important that you let go of thoughts or feelings or whatever's been going on to do with the past. So whether this is past to do with childhood stuff you've been healing, past to do with what might have happened in relationships, past to do with what might have happened at work or in your own creative projects or in your own life purpose, I just know the past needs to absolutely be closed off right now. That cycle is done, and it's just so important that you recognize that, because recognizing that is going to be the huge part in bringing even more happiness into where you're currently at. And ultimately, the happiness is this important stage for you, because it will increase your frequency, raise your vibration, and it will just, particularly like we saw in the beginning with the channeling, the brief little bit, it will open up your energy field. It will just open you up. It softens you. It makes it easier for you to receive things in life and to meet new people and to meet new opportunities and to just enjoy life more. And I actually am hearing that for a lot of you that chose this pile, that's actually quite an important message for all of the rest of this lifetime, which is your happiness always relies on you being more open and you being softer and you trusting the process and trusting life. I'm hearing that's really, really important. But as well, I just want to end with this, because I do really like this and I think this is really cool. I don't know what it is that you guys can do or who you are or what you are, because you are going to be very different. But what I do know is all of you that have chosen this pile have something very unique and very special about you. And I kind of feel like you might have always known this for a very long period of time. Or if you haven't, it might just be because you feared this unique specialness that you have. But I'm just really hearing that it's so important that you're investing in that specialness, investing in that gift, that ability, that purpose, more than anything that you have focused on it before in the past. Anything to do with past healing, past traumas, whatever it is, just drop all of that and just really focus on who you are and what you are now and where you want to go. And that is basically what the Akashic Records want you to hear right now to do with happiness. So cool, I hope you enjoyed that. That was just a quick, short little message going in there. If you would like a reading from me, you can get that on my website, abigailgracepsychic.com. All the links are below. You can also follow me on social medias. That's all the links are below as well. I'm always Abigail Grace Psychic. And I've got another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, where I talk about different psychic sort of well-being stuff, so you can also check that out too. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed that reading, and I look forward to reading for you again. Oh, just one last thing. If you guys are into your energy and you wanted to know what you could do, I definitely think it's about doing some meditations on kind of like the it feels like the solar plexus, the sacral chakra and the root chakra. But one thing I would say is I think it's more about balancing them than energizing them, because I feel like they're really active within you anyway right now. Now it's just about I don't know, almost like attuning yourself to those kind of energy centers within you and those parts of your life too. So to do with personal power, to do with creativity and sexuality, and to do with feeling safe and grounded. I think those are all sorts of things as well that can bring way more happiness into your life when they're balanced even more than they already are. So cool. I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye. Hi guys, so this is for everybody that chose message number 2 for what the Akashic Records want to tell you guys about happiness right now. So I'm just going to put that to the side there, and then obviously we'll get the cards straight away. And I'll try not to say anything until we've got them all right. So message number 2. What does everybody that chose message number 2 need to know about happiness right now? Okay, so I'm definitely hearing, sorry, I just have to say, because I'll only be quick, is happiness is a choice for you guys, 100%. And I did actually see colours for the other pile, and the colours that I'm seeing for you guys is sort of dark blues and purples kind of colours. It does feel as well, like I can tell instantly that there is something for you guys about your throat chakra, so your 5th chakra, which is a blue chakra, and also about your, interestingly about your, I'm seeing like your immunity and also hormonal control. So what is this saying on a deeper level there? I think you being balanced within you is going to always be important for you and your happiness. I think balance is something that is really, really key. And I do feel like a lot of the way that you balance yourself is about how you communicate with other people. And when I say communicate, yes, it can be verbal, but it also can be non-verbal. I just feel like you like the connection between you and other people to be harmonious, basically. And that's really important for your happiness. Getting that straight away. Because actually what I'm seeing is, and this is kind of interesting, is that as well, when it comes to your chakra system, it's actually your higher heart that's like super activated right now, and that's over the thymus gland. And so that might be something you just want to have a little look into, or you might want to balance it. I also feel like you making sure that, I think you could calm yourself down easily by just like tapping gently on your thymus gland. I feel like there's something about that that's super soothing for you guys. But anyway, now let's just go straight in. I'm hearing a read nothing reversed. Oh, so cute. So we start your reading with the 2 of Wands. And I always think this looks a bit like 2 lovers in here. Again, this reminds me of what I was seeing from the very beginning for you guys about this, you know, you being in a happy connection with other people is really important. So we have here the Hanged Man. So seeing things. I'm definitely getting this, by the way, this is not what I'm saying your star signs are, but I'm definitely getting like a Libra type of vibe with this pile. This one is, which one is this one? Temperance. And then we have, oh wow, the 10 of Coins. So that's 10 of Pentacles. Then we have 9 of Swords. Two of Wands again in this deck here. Oh, I don't know why it's not focusing. Oh, I don't know. No, 2 Wands there. Then we have 4 of Wands. I love this picture, I think it's so nice. I don't know why that's not. Anyway, and then we have Ace of Cups. Okay, then we have books. That is annoying me. And then this one says, it says, straddling worlds, wandering between realms. And then this one says, true compassion. Right, so just give me a little moment just while I feel into all of this. Okay, so a number of things, obviously, they all come out straight away, but one of the things as well is, well, I mean, obviously, instantly, something that I massively feel is, I just feel like it is like your happiness in this moment is very much about making sure that your connections, all of your connections, are healthy and harmonious, and that there's a real kind of flow of understanding that's going on between you and all of the connections in your life. I just feel like that is something that is really, really important. It kind of almost feels like you guys that have chosen this pile, if I was to look at your astrology, and let's say I'm hearing particularly something like your progress chart, so the chart that changes, that goes along 1 degree every year that you're born, it kind of feels that there's just something really important about you learning this kind of like delicate balance between when to be supported and when to do things independently, when to support somebody else, and also when to let them do things independently. It kind of feels like a lot of your happiness comes around by understanding almost like this delicate balance of your needs as well as other people's needs, and how you can co-create in that space in a healthy way, where, like I say, there's just like a real kind of healthy balance. Even feels like that with that one as well, to be fair, where there's just kind of like this real sort of healthy, balanced energy that's going off with you. And I'm actually also hearing you and the world around you, but that you will most likely be able to see this and view this to do with your one-on-one relationships with people. I am also hearing that it is relationships, but it's any type of relationship, anybody that you have a one-on-one connection with. I'm also hearing for some of you that are maybe looking for love and looking for romance, that one of the, that again, I don't know, it just feels like there's really is something about you just really, really understanding communication, but communication on so many different levels. It's kind of like when to share your feelings, when to share your thoughts, when to respect somebody else's thoughts, when to respect somebody else's feelings. I don't know, there's like this real big thing about respect and, I don't know, like adoration, cherishing, that type of energy. I think essentially it's about your happiness lying in a space where there's just a real healthy exchange between giving and receiving and sharing and growing. And as well, I am really, really hearing with so many of these cards, it's hard to keep picking them up because they all keep telling me sort of into things that interrelate. I do really feel like a lot of your happiness is going to sometimes lie in not always having to be right. Even if you know you are right, sometimes it's about letting the other person be right, because it's better to do that than to cause some kind of conflict or cause some kind of pain or basically cause some kind of distance. I think this pile is really understanding that whenever they shut people or situations or they shut themselves out from life, I think you're realizing that it actually makes you unhappy. Like you want to be always open and connected. I really, really feel like you always want to be open and connected currently, and that is a really important thing for you to have more happiness in your life. It feels like some of you probably are on this journey where you kind of do something where you maybe open up and then you shut down, and then you open up and then you shut down. Or to some of you it might appear like the other people open up and then they shut you down, and then they open up to you and then they shut you down. I feel like there's that kind of thing going on, but right at the very core of all of this, it's really just recognizing how you sometimes are open to life and then you suddenly shut life out. Like you might be somebody who either feels like everything's going amazing or then everything's going awful, and you have kind of like quite a sometimes a swinging within your own internal processing of how things are going off in life. And it kind of really feels that, number one, I do feel like you've been learning a lot about yourself, a huge amount about yourself. I feel like it's a process of uncovering and discovery. I do also feel like reading some books on relationships and communication and collaboration and interdependence. I feel like those are probably all really interesting, really good topics for you to be learning about. And negotiating. I'm hearing that you guys need to swap the word compromising for negotiating. And when a lot of you swap that around, you'll realise that all of life is very much a negotiation. It's not about compromise, actually. It's about negotiating. And I feel like you just taking on board that word and maybe doing a bit of listening to some TED Talks on that type of thing of negotiating or whatever, I think it will help bring a lot more happiness into your life. And I think what it's going to do, it's going to help to keep you... So interesting, message 1 had this in a very, very different context. But basically it will help to keep you more open. And it does feel like the Akashic Records want you to know that your happiness at this moment in time, it comes from being open. Now, message 1's was in some ways about being open and trusting. Yours isn't actually about trusting. Yours is about being open and engaging. I'm hearing that it's really important that you're keeping conversations flowing in all different areas of your life. Even communications with how you're learning and growing within yourself. I don't know, again, I'm sort of like, in the beginning I felt like a Libra type of energy. There's very much this kind of like balance and this relating type of thing. But then I'm also seeing this very much this kind of Gemini type of energy with the communication and the dynamic flow and the sharing of ideas and the keeping open to many different people's thoughts and perspectives. It kind of feels like those two energies kind of blending together is where your happiness lies currently. It is... I suppose the simplest way for me to say this is, and it's really direct, but that basically your 10 of coins, which I'm almost hearing is like your like money windfall ticket, you're like I don't know, your luck, basically your luck in life at this moment in time is all going to come through how happy and harmonious you keep all of the connections in your life currently. It just feels like it is that, and it feels like it is family members, it's friends, it's work colleagues, it's people you're in relationships with. I don't know, there's just something about that is really, really important. And also your communication with yourself and you being open with yourself. And I think it's almost about balancing extremes within yourself. I do feel like that's something as well that's coming through. There's this real thing that right now, just be mindful that you're balancing extremes within you, or that you're just being mindful of extremes within you, because you can be aware of extremes that you have within yourself, but it doesn't mean that you have to react to those in any type of way. You can almost just observe them and have compassion for those all the different parts of yourself is what I'm hearing, because then as you start to have compassion for all the different parts of yourself, you'll start being able to have compassion for all the different parts of somebody else in your life. And also for those of you that aren't actually in a romantic connection currently but that would really want one, I do see that a lot of happiness would lie in you finding a partner that you could explore all of these things that we've actually talked about, because I feel like all of these things that we've talked about would really come up for you if you got yourself into an intimate, loving connection, and it would really help you learn a lot more about yourself. But as well, I do kind of feel like if you're not in a relationship now, but you'd like to, you can actually almost activate that person coming towards you by you having all of these like harmonious interactions and communications with all of the different people that are already in your life. And again, I keep fearing this thing about, you know, life isn't about a compromise for you guys. It's just about a negotiation. It is about a negotiation. And it's about considering all different... I don't know, there's this thing about talking and listening, and then I'm also hearing and processing. It feels like communication for you guys is partly talking, it's partly listening, but it's partly processing. Processing your internal stuff and processing what somebody else has been saying to you. And I'm also seeing a bit of a Pisces vibe, because I'm also seeing as well, if you guys can really get to this place like straddling worlds, wandering between realms, when you get really good at this, everything we just talked about, I feel like you'll intuitively start to know when things might be coming up for you to do with other people, and you'll know in advance, so that essentially you'll know what actions and what words to say to maintain the harmony and the balance. And I think that that's something that's going to be available for you guys. And you know what, I think you're really, really going to enjoy this, because I think you'll find you'll have so many more people so much more consistently in your life and consistently supportive in your life. And I do really feel like that's a big part of where your happiness is. And I'm actually hearing for about 70% of you, so for not all of you, that will be true for the rest of your life as well. Like connections and collaborations and all of that kind of thing is just a really, really important part for you and your happiness. You're definitely not somebody who's supposed to be thriving alone or going it alone. I feel like if you've got this sort of Aries energy within you, which is very independent and it wants to do things its own way and it wants to forge out like an unknown path, I feel like there's something about that energy that just needs to be tweaked slightly. So it's more kind of, it is the Aries that works in a team. And I'm thinking of like football teams and sports teams. There's something for you guys where if you have a very independent spirit, the way that you can apply this is through also seeing things as team. Everything is team. Because I do feel like even Aries, which is probably one of the most independent like signs in the zodiac, it totally gets team for some reason, because it gets armies, it gets wars, it gets sports, it gets games, and all of those things rely on a team effort in whatever way. And I think that that's something else for you guys to consider. So always consider the words negotiation instead of compromise, and rather independence, it's about team. Think about teamwork. It's got that kind of energy to it. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say there. I would say if you wanted to do any energy work on this, it's definitely that throat chakra, because this big thing about connecting, but also this higher heart chakra, I really, really feel that. And I do also feel like it's your connection and also your communication with the spirit world. So whether you believe, you have a God, or you're something like that, or you have a religion, or whether it's you have a spirituality, or whether it's you have a mixture of both, whatever it is, it feels like it's also important that you're also looking at how you communicate to that, that divine part that's all of the way around you. There's something about that as well that's important. So again, that will be the 7th chakra, the 5th chakra, and then the higher heart chakra I see is really important for you guys. And it's actually kind of funny that when I first was tuning into you guys, I said that I did really feel like these blues and these purples, and that's exactly the colour of this one right in the centre of this reading. So I do feel as well like you'll get lots of intuitive insights and downloads by tapping into that more of having a bit of a meditation practice in some way. But actually for you guys, it does kind of feel like silent meditation. So in whatever way you would do that, it's not about a busy meditation, it's just about a peacefulness and allowing there to be space for the divine in some way to personally communicate to you. Cool, so that's everything that I get there for you guys. Hope you enjoyed that reading. You can, what was I going to say? Oh, if you want a private reading with me, you can find that on my website, abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave the links below. I also have my social medias. They're always Abigail Grace Psychic, so you can check those out there as well for more psychic stuff. And I also have a YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, where I talk about different things. You guys might find, almost like the Gemini highest potential video, you might find that quite useful with some of these things that's coming up. But anyway, I loved reading for you, and I hope to read for you again. Speak to you soon. Bye. Hi guys. So this is for everybody that chose message 3 for what the Akashic Records want to tell you about happiness right now. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to try not to say anything till we've pulled out all the cards. Okay, but I am really seeing instantly, well, that's too many, because I was getting colours for the other piles, so I'll allow let myself get colours for you guys. So basically I get grass green and sunshine yellow for you guys, and there does feel like there's this real thing about your happiness lies in the balancing of power and the balancing of what it is you want along with what it is that you feel, essentially, is what I'm hearing. And again, these sort of things feel like it's all kind of like heart chakra and solar plexus type of energy. It kind of feels as well like your happiness as well lies in very much a kind of like a magician type of energy. I feel like your happiness lies in you love creating. I think there's something about this pile that totally and utterly loves creating in life in whatever way that might be. And I do feel like as well for some of you will really love having money. That's just something that you love. And I know in spiritual communities sometimes that's looked down on, which I totally think is just ridiculous, to be fair with you, because all it is just is energy. But I feel like the thing that you probably love about with the to do with money, if that is you, is it's all the creative things you can do with it. It's all the choices that you can make as a result of money. And I feel like because you are so creative and you've got lots of ideas, money is often something that you can use to facilitate things that you have in your imagination that you want to experience in life. Essentially, money becomes a way of you experiencing many different things in life, and it's actually the experiencing different things which is something that brings you so much happiness. Yeah, I feel that really strongly. By the way, I'm like you guys with this. I friggin' love that. I love that thing about money. But yeah, so you guys feel like you have this very much a magician type of energy. And I do also feel like you guys like to try and experience many different things. Happiness comes for you guys in diversity and being dynamic. And I suppose things kind of changing. I think you guys generally find happiness in movement. So it makes me feel as well like you guys are... you probably really like some kind of sport or exercise or yoga or something. It feels like you guys like your heart to be pumping, basically. So a lot of passion and a lot of drive. And I feel like this pile also really likes to be focused on something, to have a goal that they're working towards. And at this moment in time, this can bring you a lot of happiness as well. I have to say, loads just came out for you guys then as well. So it kind of feels like... I feel like you guys also get happiness from not following a certain rule or a certain pathway that others agree to. So I think you like almost being outside of the box in some way, and that comes in again with the creativity. And then so the first card we get for you guys is nudity. I love that. For some reason this makes me think of like outside of convention again for some reason, but being free to express who you are and trying what you want and breaking all conventions. I just see that as a place of happiness for you guys. And it says here, learning to nurture. And then we have here, in the hand, the universe is your partner. Yeah, I do really, really feel like you enjoy creating things almost from from the inception of the idea up until the actual physical creation of it as well. I just feel like you're very, very good creators. You're really good at manifesting. And I feel like happiness also lies in you going in that way of manifesting things, of thinking of an idea and then making that idea happen. And then we have here 3 of Cups. Right, I'm not going to say any more now until I've turned them all over. Then we have the Chariot. Wow, then we have Death. I love this picture of Death. I think it's so cool. And then we have 7 of Flames. So 7 of Flames is 7 of Wands. Yeah, this really kind of determined energy. So then we have here Ace of Cups. We have 8 of Wands. 6 of Wands. And, oh wow, and the Tower. I think this is such an interesting depiction of the Tower. Okay, so this reading feels like the quickest, fastest reading for me to do because it's just like bang, straight out. But basically what I really, really feel with you guys is right now, the Akashic Records wants you to know that your happiness lies in manifesting, in going after your goals and creating goals, in going against the status quo. But I'm also hearing, really interestingly, it's not even just about going against the status quo of society and what society believes. It's actually going against some fixed beliefs that you might have about yourself and your life. It's like you've got to break your own convention. So what you conventionally think about yourself, I feel it's about seeing it in a radically different way, and that's going to be incredibly liberating. So it's not just you rebelling against society in some way. It really is you breaking out of your own conventions. I see that as something that's going to bring you so much happiness, particularly as well with this Death card here, with the 6 of Wands. It kind of feels like the Akashic Records wants you to know that you will find so much happiness in doing you, but doing you in a new and a different way, in doing you in an evolved type of way. It feels like by seeing yourself through kind of a different lens, a different perspective, to do with whatever it is that you have a very stubborn belief about yourself to do with. And this very much feels like to do with success in some way. And when I say success, I mean success to do with whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest. So whether that is money, job, life purpose, relationship, whatever it is, I feel like the happiness for you is going to come through you kind of seeing yourself in a new light to do with whatever this is that you are looking to create. And again, I do feel as well like it's seeing yourself in a new light. It's seeing yourself in kind of really quite a soft light, a compassionate type of light. It feels that it's something about recognizing how much support is around you will also bring you a lot more happiness than where you're currently at. So even if it appears like things are not going in the direction that you want, I feel like a lot of this is just about having a paradigm shift. And again, because I feel like you're getting loads of stuff currently to do with your own power and how you create in life, how you're a magician, how you're a manifester, how you go after your goals and how you achieve your goals. But it's because this is all to do with happiness. It's about understanding where happiness lies within everything it is that you are choosing and wanting to create. I think that that's really, really important. And I do feel as well, it's something about you, definitely you'll feel more happiness if you can recognize how much you are supported by life, by yourself, by the people around you, and recognizing that people are more for you than against you in any way, and that life is more for you than against you in any way. As well, I'm sort of hearing as well that your happiness very much lies in bringing some vulnerability into your life, or into the way that you're communicating, or into the way of how you're doing whatever it is that you're wanting to create. So for example, if you're looking to create a relationship, it's about being able to show up in a more vulnerable way in that relationship. Or if you're wanting to let's say, I don't know, a job, you're wanting to go up a level in your job at work, or you're wanting to let's say that, go into a job. It's in some ways about expressing yourself in a more vulnerable way, giving more of yourself, but not giving more of yourself in like a wounded victimhood type of way, or in an unbalanced way. It's just almost like revealing more of yourself to others. Because often I think, with all humans, and let's just say in this pile at the moment, I can feel how some of you have potentially, it definitely feels like a bit more of a masculine energy. So whether you're masculine or feminine, it really doesn't matter, but it feels like you've currently got a bit more of a masculine energy to do with whatever is going off in your life. And actually it's about bringing in a bit more of that feminine softness, that feminine vulnerability, that will help you achieve whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve, and that will actually bring you so much more happiness along the entire process. As well, because I feel like something that might make you guys unhappy, believe it or not, is when you get stubborn about something. I feel like people in this pile, stubborn is not a good thing for you guys to be in. I don't feel like stubborn energy, and for some reason I'm seeing this with the Seven of Wands. Being stubborn for you guys, it causes problems for you internally and externally. I feel like being stubborn creates barriers. It creates barriers between you and somebody else, or you and work, or you and life. There's something about being stubborn that actually ends up breaking down opportunities. So it ends up either pushing away great romantic partners, or pushing away good job opportunities, or pushing away opportunities that life wants to give you to do with creating your life purpose, or whatever it might be. So I feel like whatever stubbornness you start to feel yourself being stubborn, this is where you actually need to have a bit of a paradigm shift to do with yourself and the situation, and really go in, recognize that you're being stubborn, and find out what you can do to kind of drop down that guard. Because really stubbornness, I'm hearing for you guys, is really just it's about creating a barrier in some way. It's about not feeling safe in some way and creating some type of barrier. And I think you might unconsciously, and I do feel this is very unconscious, some of you guys might unconsciously use being stubborn to actually push things and people and situations away. And so it just feels like if you can bring in a bit of this soft feminine energy, a bit more of a softer energy into situations where you usually feel stubborn. Basically stay open when you would usually shut down a little bit. I feel like this is when, I don't know, some sort of massive opportunities, and it really is all of these cards, some massive opportunities start opening up for you in love, in work, in business, everywhere basically. And I feel like they come in very, very quick. Because the one thing about, say, stubborn type of energy, and bear in mind we're all stubborn, I can be friggin' stubborn. And actually, to be honest, quite often it can actually cause me a problem thinking about it. But the one thing about being stubborn is you usually create such rigid boundaries around you and such definitive no, that if you can change that stubbornness, if you can break down those walls, there's so much energy behind you that things just go rushing and flooding in a direction that they were always trying to go had you not been stubborn. So there's something about that, and I feel like a lot of happiness will come for you guys if basically you drop where you're being stubborn, you be vulnerable, you be open, you be willing to receive support. I think there's something about being willing to receive support, and not just from people around you, but from life itself. And I do just as well feel like there is so much happiness and joy wanting to come to you guys with the Chariot, the Three of Cups, the Ace of Cups and the Eight of Wands. It feels like there is a lot of happiness on its way to you guys, but the key to this is dropping wherever this is, this stubborn area is for you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold up this card and I just want you to peer into it and ask your intuition, your spirit guides, yourself, where is it you're being stubborn? That if you just drop being stubborn and open up and be more vulnerable, so much happiness and joy will come flooding into your life as a result. Yeah, so obviously you can pause that if you want to, so you can stare at that picture longer. I do like these because I think they're so abstract. And I know the intuition can really speak to us in the abstract form. So yeah, whatever came up for you in that way, I think it's about recognising that wherever that part of your life is, it's definitely about bringing in this softness, this openness, and that will bring you a lot more happiness. And then just going back to the beginning bit about how I saw this whole, the yellows and the greens, and it's your heart chakra and it's your solar plexus, it does really feel like there's this, it's like knowing when to use your feminine heart and open up and soften to things, and then knowing when to use your more masculine solar plexus and knowing when to be very directive with things, because I feel like you can turn that stubborn energy into directive energy. But I do feel like that stubborn energy needs to be transmutated into openness and vulnerability in a feminine level, and then that stubbornness also needs to be opened up and channeled into a more directive type of purpose-driven way, but purpose-driven way which is not driven by being stubborn or overly attached to an idea of something or an outcome. Because there's something that I do really feel like the universe is really trying to get through to you and get into your life with this in the hand. The universe is your partner. It literally feels like at the bottom of your reading there is literally just this hand that's trying to give you guys something. But I feel like you'll only have space for this once whatever is that stubborn thing is dropped a little bit. But yeah, just open up to other people and other connections. I feel like that is something really important, really important. And you don't need to do things alone, because it's an illusion anyway that you're doing things alone, because usually whatever it is you're trying to manifest, you could not possibly do that without other human beings in at least some abstract way contributing to what it is that you were trying to create. And I think as well there's something about recognizing that and really feeling that will also help you open up. And again, this will allow so much more happiness to come into your life. And then I'm also hearing that for you guys that have got these distinctive goals that you're going after, when you can open up in that type of way, and you're way more open and vulnerable to life and accepting of life, I feel, and accepting of other people, and ultimately, and this is the big bit, accepting of yourself and who you are. This is when I feel like a whole load of things just come like, I just feel like they come smashing into your life so quick, really quickly. It feels like there's built up energy, and some of you guys that have chosen this pile might even feel a bit of tension anyway, like with whatever it is that you're resisting or being stubborn about. But again, what the Akashic Records want you to know about, this is no big deal, being stubborn, being all this, because all this is actually a situation, scenarios that you're going through to actually help you be an even better manifester, magician and creator, because it's helping you see parts of yourself where you unconsciously create resistance, which therefore block things that otherwise you were trying to create and would come to you very quickly. So I'm hearing that it's an actually really important piece on the puzzle of you guys becoming master manifestors. And like I said from this very beginning, I feel like you guys get a huge amount of happiness and joy through having an idea, having an inspiration, and then bringing that into physical reality and creating it and achieving it. I feel like this is a place of lots of happiness and joy for you guys. And so, you know, looking at these places where you have some resistance that blocks that coming in is vital to your long-term happiness and success to do with whatever it is that you're creating. And that is 100% what I'm getting for you on this pile. So I hope you enjoyed that. I loved reading for you. I do want to say as well, to have the Death card and the Tower card, I think that is two very, very powerful energies as well. So I do feel like, I don't know how to relate to you guys in different ways, but I do feel like there's something really important about some things that are being said in this reading that can absolutely create some incredible change for you in your life very quickly and very dramatically, and bring a lot more happiness into your life. Because wherever you are with happiness, I feel like there is so much more wanting to come in. And it, like I say, it does feel like it's wanting to come in really pretty fast and pretty quick. And I think some of you guys might even know what this is, to be fair, but you might just have been tussling with yourself about how you can actually open yourself up to it, because it means you have to overcome almost like this stubborn fixed part of yourself. Because I do feel like there's quite a lot of you, at least 50% of you, that are really aware of what all of this is. And I do feel like there'll be somebody out there, somebody that you know, or somebody that life will bring to you quickly that will help you get to this place of acceptance of yourself, basically. I think that's a really big part about this. And I feel as well like for a lot of you people that chose this pile, you know, you having acceptance of yourself will always bring a huge amount of happiness into your life in one way or another. The acceptance bit is huge. And you will definitely understand acceptance of yourself more by letting more and more people support you and come into your space in life. Cool, I don't want to go on with that anymore, but if you wanted to have a look at some energy work, I would definitely just have a look at the balancing and the harmonizing of your heart chakra with your solar plexus. I think they're really two important places, and really understanding all different things to do with power, your own power, other people's power, how people persuade people, how people manipulate people, how people collaborate with other people. All of these kind of things I think are going to be important for bringing more happiness into your life. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can find that on abigailgracepsychic.com. I also have social medias, and it's always Abigail Grace Psychic. All the links will be below. And then I also have a YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, where I just talk about lots of different stuff. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that reading, and I look forward to reading for you guys soon. And you're definitely super powerful creators, manifestors, magicians. I love it, it's awesome. So yeah, but just remember to bring in some soft feminine energy in some way, either very physically in your life or actually within yourself. There's something about that that's really important, and it's different for all of you. And remember, it's irrelevant of gender. It's just we're talking about energies. But yeah, speak to you guys soon. Bye. Hi guys, so this is for everybody that chose message number 4 for what the Akashic Records want to tell you right now to do with happiness. So I'm just going to put that down. We're going to get the cards out straight away. Okay, so what I just did allow to do with channeling was just for my guys to give me colours of what's going on with you guys in some ways. And so the first things that I get for you guys is actually the colours purple and silver. And this really relates to me when I think about your third eye chakra, your 8th chakra, and also your 10th chakra. So it feels like this is a pile where there's a lot of happiness also comes from kind of like spiritual awareness, spiritual insight, that kind of thing. And very much about feeling one with life and feeling more than, or understanding more than what's just visible. But as well with this silver energy, it does make me feel as well like it's really important that you guys, how would I say it? For happiness, I do think you just need some downtime as well. I think it's really important that you have some space for yourself. Like, I'm not saying that you guys are all going to be introverts, but I feel like there's a part of you that absolutely every now and then, even if you're the most extroverted person, I think that you having some time and some space for yourself is always going to be important in this lifetime, and will always help to ground you and help you feel like a sense of inner peace and inner happiness inside. So if ever things in life get quite full on for you guys, I do feel like one of the remedies that you can always apply is just withdrawing a little bit, just having a bit of your own time to do whatever it is that you really enjoy, whether it's the gym, whether it's walking, whether it is painting, whether it is, I don't know, going on a holiday by yourself, going for a meal by yourself. I don't know what it is, but it just feels like that's something that is important for maintaining happiness in your life. Oh, and another thing as well, sorry, that's coming in straight away about what I can feel is really important for you guys to do with happiness is it feels like it's always quite important for you guys to be really quite healthy. And what I mean by that is just quite purified with like what you're eating, with what you're drinking, that type of thing, like having really good health and well-being routines. I feel like that's a real source of happiness for you guys. I feel like it keeps you very grounded, and I just feel like it helps channel your energy really, really well, and that's an important part. So yeah, I think that's just something, and those things, I feel it's not just in this moment that will help you with happiness. I feel like they're things that the Akashic Records wants you to know, just to do with the fact that this is who you are in this lifetime, and this will always help keep you in a place of happiness, or help you get back to a place of happiness. But anyway, now I won't say anything until we've turned everything over. So the first thing we have here, we have 10 of Feathers, which is 10 of Swords. I love these cards, I think they're so beautiful. Then we have King of Cups. Then we have 7 of Coins, so that is 7 of Pentacles. Then we have the Moon. It's interesting because I was thinking of the Moon as well when I was seeing that silver colour that I was telling you about. And this is why I think this spiritual part of you is really important right now to do with your happiness. Then we have the Star. And then we have, I love this depiction of the 6 of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see, it's like 2 people on the other side of the river. I love it. 6 of Pentacles. So then we have Fortune's Wheel, Luck and Right Timing. Then we have Strangers. And then here we have Seeking Karmic Balance and Self-Discipline. Yeah, you know, the self-discipline, that definitely makes me think about this whole, health and well-being type of thing, like what you eat, the exercise you're doing. All of those actually feel really important for this pile to do with happiness. It just feels that it just helps you feel really good within yourself, and it helps you work with whatever's currently going off in your life. So I think that that is really, really important, and that pops out straight away. Oh, cool. Now just give me a minute just while I feel into all of this. I feel as well like what is actually important for you right now to do with happiness, and also what I'm hearing it's just important for you guys anyway in this lifetime, is I do think there's this real thing about this balance between spending time with other people and spending time by yourself. I just think that that is something that's really, really important. But what I find really interesting is when it comes to you with other people, I really kind of feel like you're the kind of power. I think it is important for your happiness, and particularly right now, that you are investing in many different types of relationships that are currently available to you. From the King of Cups, which makes me feel like it's a very much a family type of energy, so things to do with your family, but also intergenerational. There's something really important about having different people around you that are in different generations. I feel like that's important. I feel like it's really important that you're open to new people that come into your life and to new people that potentially have quite different backgrounds, different experiences, different belief systems. I feel like that's really important for happiness. And then also with the Six of Pentacles, actually I haven't done this for any of the others, but I just want to pull, well no, to be fair, it's confirming it here, to be fair. I do really feel with the Six of Pentacles, there's something about healing a bridge between you and somebody else that's actually really important to your happiness right now. And this is very much right now in the moment, I feel. So I don't know if some of you guys are at a distance to do with some people or somebody. It just feels like it's coming to the right sort of time soon where more happiness will come into your life by basically bridging that gap and meeting in the middle with that person. It feels like the Akashic Records wants you to know that lots of healing has occurred, and that you're getting close now to this place of building bridges in whatever way that is. And that will be different for all of you, so you just have to feel into intuitively what that might be. It might be a family member, it might be a friend, it might be a work colleague, it might even be somebody you lost touch with but you want to get back in touch with. It might be an old romantic partner. It can be a sibling, it could be anything, and it could be multiple as well, so you just need to feel into that in yourself. Because this is the other thing, you know, we're seeking karmic balance and also fortune's wheel, right timing. I think the Akashic Records is really kind of saying to you that basically you've done what you needed to do. You've done what you've needed to do to now be in a place to reconcile certain areas of your life, and it's by reconciling certain areas of your life that you will currently get a huge windfall of happiness coming into you, a huge amount of happiness. Because I do really feel as well with the first card that came out here, the Ten of Feathers, which is the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Feathers, which is the Ten of Swords, sorry. In the usual tarot, you will obviously see somebody with a whole load of swords in their back, but also it's the daylight's breaking, like an old day is done and a new day is beginning. And it does really feel like that's something really relevant to what's currently going off with you guys and within your life, where it feels like some difficult things have occurred, a difficult cycle has ended. But it's not ended as in like the World card, where that kind of feels like a completely new beginning. This more feels like you've done the mental processing, you've done the changing of belief systems, you've done the integration of what you needed to do mentally to do with something that was difficult in the past, and now you're at a place where you can begin again anew. But I feel like for a lot of you, it's beginning again anew through a reconciliation. Because with the King of Cups, and I love this card here, look how tenderly he's looking at that baby. It just feels like you've now in a situation where you see something that happened in the past in a completely new and mature light. And because of that, I feel like your heart has actually been starting to soften to do with whoever is this person or situation, where this reconciliation is a potential, if that's what you wanted to go for. I feel as well with the Seven of Coins, which is often the guy that's kind of looking at everything that's gone off, and the Moon card, I feel like so much reflection, self-reflection. You've done so much self-reflection as a result of whatever this was in the past. And I do really feel as well like you don't need to, it's done. You've done what you needed to do, you've understood what you needed to understand. And now you're in a place where you can heal and you can reconcile. With, like I say, this could be a person or people, or it could even be a situation like returning to an old situation, but with a fresh new light, basically. Seeing something in a completely new way. And again, this makes me think the Strangers card, maybe it's not even so much strangers, but it's just seeing something and seeing someone in a new light. And I don't know why, but it just feels like there's lots of happiness to be gained by you re-entering this situation, this person's life, or something like that. Just give me 1 second though, because this is a bit more of a complex message than some of the others. Just give me a moment. I want to make sure I get it right. I think as well, like, you know, with this the moon card here, and it's right at the center of your reading, I do really feel like it's really important for you to listen to your own intuition. I feel like if you are going to go for a reconciliation, or you're going to go back into something from the past, this isn't something that you need to rush. I think this is something that you can think about with the Seven of Coins, that you can contemplate, because it is about doing this in a way where it ends up feeling right to you inside. Or if you're more of a thinker, it now logically makes sense for you to go back into that situation or that scenario. But I do really get this as well, that if you do go back into that situation or scenario, so let's also say, so that, you know, a relationship one is kind of an easy example, but let's also use one to do with, let's say, a job. Yeah, let's use one to do with a job as well, because it can work all different ways for you guys. It's really important that if you were to go back into whatever this job was, that you do go into it with no preconceptions, that you go into it with this curiosity of what it can be, not baggage of what it has been in the past previously. And that will be the same thing as well to do with a friendship or a relationship that you were going to re-enter or anything like that. It's really important that you're happy to begin again, see it in a new light, open to get to know this person again in a new light, open to get to know this job in a new light. It's just really important that there's no more, that you don't have preconceived ideas to do with what might happen. Particularly, it's about, I suppose it is really about having the self-discipline. It's very much about having the self-discipline to not let your mind start to tell you old stories. So, you know, when we have like a certain narrative that goes off in our mind, and quite often if we go back into old situations that have maybe ended badly in some way, you're going to have to use your discipline and your own creative power to recognize that was the past and now is the present, and I can create something very different in the future. And you really have that power in the moment. But what I would say is, with the moon card, obviously to go about doing this is you need to be careful that you don't fall into your own illusions or the illusions of the past. And what I mean by that is make sure that your monkey mind doesn't try and trick you out of it, or doesn't try and make you go into the situation and play the same story out, play the same pattern out. I do just want to say though, with all of the other cards here, and even these ones here, I really do not feel in any way that would happen. But I do just think it's important to always just be mindful about that. Because if you go back into old situations, even if there were new situations, stuff always happens, right? Sometimes things don't always 100% of the time in all of our life go exactly how we want. That is not a frigging big deal. That's just life, and it's about how you're working with that. And I do really feel like you definitely have this emotional maturity now to be able to reconcile whatever this is, or go about this again in a new way. But I think it's always really important, every now and then you might have to just tell yourself, whoa, stop that. Don't start thinking like that. Don't start playing into that old story. And I think it really is just a little bit of self-discipline in that way. And then I do honestly feel like it's not going to be a big deal. I just don't. I guess it might be the situation as where new parents potentially are like, at some point they feel like this is amazing, at other points they think, oh my god, I'm suddenly responsible for this life, I don't know if I can do this, oh my god, what if I can't do this, what if I create the same patterns that I had done to me which I don't want to repeat, you know, all of that sort of stuff. And then they just have to take a moment and just breathe and be like, no, I've got this, I know what I'm doing, I'm well prepared for this, I'm not going to repeat the past in any way, I am creating my future moment by moment, and I'm doing that from the person that I am now, not from the person who I was in the past, or not from the family lineage that I'm from, or not from the soul tribe that I'm from, etc, etc. But I do really, really feel that you can do that. And essentially, this is where the Akashic Records wants you to know that your happiness lies right now. So I suppose the thing about this is, And actually, I can sort of share on some of my situations. Not that long ago, I re-entered a situation that I swore to myself I would never, ever, 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 ever go into ever again. That's it. I was done. I was over. There was no way I was going to do it. I sacrificed everything. I lost everything to say no to doing this. And in the end, things reoccurred. My intuition started to tell me, and the people around me, and situations popped up where the opportunity really was to go back in and go back into that past situation. But the truth is, because of all the different things that I've done and I've grown and I've learned, which I can feel is exactly the same as you guys, you've grown and you've learned and you've all the rest of it. When I went back into this situation, honestly, it's been the best. It's been the best experience that I have ever had on literally every way. It's crazy. I can't actually believe it. I am like still in shock about it. And I do feel like this is what's available for you guys, and I have to say it has seriously made me so much happier, because it's alleviated so many things in my life, and it's brought me, like, I don't know, I love having choice, I love having independence, but I love being able to be around people and collaborate. I don't know, it's just allowed me to tap into all of these things which make me happy. And I do really feel like whatever this is for you guys, whatever this reconciliation is, whatever this is going back into the past, it will be a really, really positive experience. Now, what I just want to do is I'm just going to hold this card up because I think they're really quite meditative. And just stare into that picture and just see if you can get an answer. If you're not sure about what this is about, what to reconcile, who to reconcile, etc., just see if, I'll be quiet for a bit and see if your intuition tells you what it is, or you get more personal insight for yourself. Cool, so obviously you can always pause this if you want, so you can stare at it a little bit longer. I do really feel like that's everything that I need to tell you. I do think just really trusting as well, like you really have, you've learnt whatever lessons was required in the past, so that if you do choose to and you want to, you can go back, you can reconnect to some part of yourself. You can reconnect to some part of yourself, some part of your life, to a certain situation, an opportunity, you know, whatever it is. I really, really do think you can. But also, I do want you to know there is no rush. Just do this when it feels right for you and trust your intuition on that. But it does really feel like with Fortune's Wheel, like luck is on your side with this. Luck is on your side. It really, really, truly is. And I love the number 23. Yeah, so luck is on your side, and I feel like creative change and collaboration is really available in whatever this is to do with. So cool, I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you'd like a personal reading, you can find it on my website on abigailgracepsychic.com. I'll leave the links below. There's also my Facebook, Instagram, all of that. I'm always Abigail Grace Psychic. Again, the links are below. And if you'd like to look at my other YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, links are below as well. But other than that, I love reading for you, and yeah, I think just trust your intuition on this one, you know. Trust your intuition, understand when is the best timing for you, and understand there's so much happiness to be gained, because even if you go back into the past, you were going back a completely different person, and because of that, the whole situations and events play out completely different. You have learned the lessons from the past, so to go back into the past is to create a completely new future. But cool, I hope you enjoyed that. Speak to you soon. Bye. Hi guys, so this is for everybody that chose message number 5 for what the Akashic Records want to tell you about happiness right now. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there. In the end, I know I said I was going to do no channeling, but my guys started to show me colours and stuff. So I'll totally do that for you guys as well. So we'll see what colours are in, and then I'll channel it off from there, just while I'm obviously putting out all the cards. So, what do the Akashic Records want to tell people in message number 5 about happiness right now? Okay. Do you know what? I'm kind of getting all sorts of colours for you guys, so just give me a moment just while I process what that's actually meaning. Yeah, actually literally a bit like this, just multicolours. So many different colours is what I'm seeing for you guys. Okay, so I'm getting it's very much a 12th chakra type of energy that's coming in for you guys. So I always see the 12th chakra as like friggin' epically, massively, hugely above somebody's head. I mean, we're talking like, it could be even a mile. It's like massively above somebody's head, and it's different colours for everybody, and it's a different shape for everybody, and basically it's very, 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 very unique and individual to that person. So it definitely feels like there's something about you guys. It's not so much tapping into your uniqueness, but it's something about tapping into your unlimitedness. So almost, I suppose, like your highest potential, but it's highest potential in a way more, I don't know, it's way more than just highest potential. It's something more than that. It's almost, I don't know, it's recognizing that you have no limits. It's like recognizing that you can do and create anything that you want. However, it is all about whether you're prepared to do what that would take. There's something about that type of energy that's coming through. And that it's also something very much about paradoxes, about you might have to completely go through, like, humility might be required, because it might be, your happiness might be lying in something which seems a paradox. So something you thought would make you miserable actually makes you super happy, but it's really difficult for the human mind to get to a space where it allows that to happen, because it's such like an oxymoron in a human's mental processing. Something that they truly think will make them miserable, how on earth can that make them really happy? And there's some kind of like paradox play off with that. But it feels like you guys are in a place where you're really, really close to understanding this in some way and kind of breaking through it, and therefore you're going to go into it's almost like, if you know anything about astrology, we have like a progressed moon, and the progressed moon cycle is massive. I think it's something like 20 years or something. It's huge, and it feels like you guys are probably on the precipice of like either a new moon moment or a full moon moment within your progressed chart, and with it comes a completely new opening up in life. So it very much feels like a new moon, but I'm hearing for some of you as well it could be full moon. Anyway, let's see what we have. So first thing we have is sweets. So whatever this is, it's a treat for sure. Then we have Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call. I really like this card for some reason, and I feel like it means something a little bit different as well, but I'll go into that. Then here we have, oh wow, Pushing the Envelope and Freedom. Yeah, you see, this is what, you know, like with this chakra, it's miles, it's like a mile away, it's massively away. And this whole thing about you are unlimited, you can do anything right now. I feel like this is really, really, you know, it's really kind of saying that with both these here, Pushing the Envelope and Freedom. But you know, with Pushing the Envelope and Freedom, I definitely do think it is around this thing about you've set up some kind of paradox, so you'll have to feel like what that is, where what you think will actually make you unhappy would actually make you insanely happy. But it's about you breaking through these own mental constructs that you've created to liberate yourself. And I feel like whatever this is, this might be something where I feel like some people would like it anyway. You have this kind of feeling that something you don't want, that you really don't want, that would make you unhappy, is actually something that a lot of people would be happy with. So it's not something that's actually bad in itself or not an enjoyable thing. Many people want this in their life, but for some reason you've set yourself up to believe and think that you really don't. And because of this refusal of the call, you keep refusing opportunities to step into whatever this space is, because you believe it's actually going to do the opposite. You actually feel like instead of pushing the envelope and expanding in freedom, you actually feel like it's actually going to restrict you in some way. Whew, this is quite a deep one, last message. But anyway, let me pull all these out and we'll go into it more. So then the first thing we get here is Mother of Swords. And then we have Ace of Wands. And then, oh wow, again, Mother of Cups. And then we have Judgment. And then we have, wow, lots of cups. Then we have Son of Cups. And then we have Ace of Cups. So we have 2 aces now. Oh wow, again, Son of Feathers. This is mental. And Queen of Wands. Okay, this to me is fascinating. So we literally have, on this side we have Son of Cups and Son of Cups and Son of Swords, and on here we have Mother of Swords and we have Mother of Cups. Wow. Okay, just give me 1 second while I feel into this. I mean, really, this really is literally just what I just said to you earlier. Like, the Akashic Records really wants you to know right now that your greatest happiness lies in doing something which you are actually adamant that you don't want to do and you don't want to experience. Therefore, your life keeps giving you opportunities to grow in this direction, but you keep saying no. But other people don't always understand why you don't want to do this, because to other people, they can tell it would be their source of happiness, because it's something that I feel that a lot of humans do gain a lot of happiness from. But I feel like for some reason, you guys feel like it will in some way restrict you. And I feel like this pile definitely has a thing about being unlimited, about being free, about almost being independent, that type of energy. It does feel as well like what this is to do with, I'm trying to break it down because it will be different for all of you. What this feels like it's to do with is, I feel like part of you doesn't want to go in this direction of where this real happiness would be, and life gives you opportunities, but you're constantly like refusing the call and thinking that you don't want it, because I feel like on some level you feel like it's going to be restricting you through it's going to do a couple of things. You either think it's going to put you into a box, and it's putting you into that box that you really don't want to be put into that box. And the other thing is that it feels like it would come with a lot of responsibility. And not that you guys have necessarily a problem with responsibility, although obviously some of you will, but not all of you will. But it's more that this responsibility feels like it's too much on top of everything else that you already feel responsible for in your life. It's that type of energy. And it feels like it's I feel as well like for some of you as well, the reason why you might not want to go into this area of life, even though it will make you insanely happy, is because I feel like you've potentially seen somebody else around you do it in the past, and do it in a way which has caused either them or a lot of other people misery. And so therefore it's unconsciously set you up to, well, it's pre-programmed you to think that if you were to do it, then you would get the same thing would happen to you, and that would obviously then not be enjoyable for you, and it would not be enjoyable for the people around you. But I really am hearing that for whatever this is, you know, for the other people in the past where it played out difficult for them, that's because it was their lesson, not their gift. But what I'm hearing for you guys is, but this is your gift. It is a gift. It is like an offering. It is like a blessing, and it is an offering and a blessing from life. But also part of your self-growth has been like That was weird. My camera just shut itself off for no reason whatsoever. So I do kind of feel like whatever this is, I feel this is quite a big deal for you guys. So this isn't like a real. If this doesn't feel relevant to you, then obviously choose another pile, because this feels really quite specific to me, and it feels a very, very strong energy, and it feels like something that you guys that this is resonating with, you will have. This is something you've been working with for quite a long time, but I'm hearing like it really is a really big deal. Like, you know what I was saying about it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like it's a really, really big moment in your life for you to actually say yes to, and to say yes to it instead of refusing the call will be to completely and utterly end up changing your life in crazy ways, but it's going to bring so much happiness. It does also feel like a lot of this responsibility that we've also talked about, it comes through, it feels like a lot of emotional responsibility if I was to like gain it in a way, because we've got the two mothers here. So we've got the Queen of Swords and we've got the Queen of Cups. It feels like it's a lot of emotional responsibility if you were to say yes to this. And like I say, I feel like it bothers you that you might not be able to do the job, or to do the situation, or to do the scenario, or to do the life experience in the way that you would want to. And I do really feel like it's really, really important that I think it's recognizing that nobody has to do anything perfectly. There isn't such a thing as perfect, and it's not about you needing to say yes to this opportunity and then you have to be perfect, otherwise you'll be really harsh on yourself. I think it's about being compassionate to yourself and all other people to do with this type of scenario. And it kind of feels as well like whatever this situation or opportunity would bring that's going to bring you so much happiness, it's very much about you sharing a lot of yourself. And I think this is another reason why some of you might have always been quite like, oh no, I'm not sure I want to do this. No, I don't want this. No, this would be awful. Because it feels like it opens your whole life up to a whole new level of intimacy. It just opens you up to a whole much more deeper level of like sharing yourself with either life, with another, with a group, whatever it might be, because it's going to be different for all of you. But I'm hearing that within that intimacy, within that kind of shared resources and that shared connection and that shared collaboration is where so much happiness is going to come for you. And I'm also hearing as well, with pushing the envelope, it's not just that this situation would push you into beyond like your known experience of life, and it would change your life dramatically and radically, but it would also, it's going to change some kind of big karmic pattern within your own soul's history. And I almost feel like within your family lineage, it's got that kind of energy about it as well. So I can understand as well why many of you might have been incredibly hesitant to go in this direction in life, because although other people might be like, really want this kind of experience to happen, or really want to do this thing in life, you know, and they might have no resistance to it, it's because they don't have this same amount of huge soul history and ancestral history to do with whatever this situation or opportunity is. And it's actually, I think as well, what you guys need to recognize is the reason why you feel like it might be restrictive and take away a lot of your freedom, even though paradoxically what it's actually going to do is the total opposite, is just because it's just because there is like this big, I don't know, like there is a lot of heavy baggage to do with this theme in your ancestral history and your soul history, but you won't recreate that, because that is not your destiny. And it really is as simple as that. It is not your destiny in this lifetime, even though you might be part of a chain of people or a chain of events where saying yes to this opportunity or going in on this opportunity always causes a lot of problems or dramas or difficulties, but that is not you, because although you are part of that lineage, you are still an individual within that lineage. And again, if you say yes to whatever this is, either now or in the future, you will not lose your identity, but you will bring your identity to this scenario, this situation, and it's in you bringing your unique identity to this bigger part of life, to this bigger experience, that you will gain so much more. You won't lose anything. You will not lose your freedom. You will not lose your independence. You will not lose your autonomy, but you will gain so much. You have nothing basically to do but to gain in this situation. And I really, really do feel that with like both of these aces here. And I feel like it will be a very healing experience, but I feel like it will be an incredibly happy, like loving, open experience. And I do feel like, I'm going to have to say, because there is literally, we've got the Queen, and the Queen here. We've got so many queens here. This does very much feel like, for majority of you, this is something to do with a feminine energy theme. So anything to do with relationship, creating, you know, even like motherhood, or being a parent, or creating entrepreneurship, your own business. It's anything that's creative, to be honest. Anything that is creative. And let's be honest, when it really comes down to it, as souls on the planet, everything we do is a creation. So it literally could be anything. But I think you're going to really recognise it by what we've already said in the beginning, because the biggest thing about this is it's where you have been convinced that doing this would make you unhappy and restricted and all the rest of it. But the paradox is, and what the Akashic Records really wants you to know, is this is where it will bring you your greatest amount of happiness, liberation and joy and freedom. But it's just you getting that around in your head. I literally do feel like that's everything that I really need to say, and I feel like if this reading resonates with you, it might be a case of just listening to it just a couple of times, because this does feel like quite a big energy to be working with. And to be fair, it did show me like straight away to your 12th chakra. I don't think I've ever done any readings where I've had to bring up the 12th chakra. Like, that's just not one that gets spoken about very often at all, and it's so unique to everybody. So I don't know, I feel like this is quite a really important deep reading for those of you that this resonates with. And obviously if this doesn't resonate with you, then definitely choose another pile, because I do really think it's quite specific in a way. What I just want to do though is, I didn't do this for any of the other piles, but I just want to choose one more, and all I want you to do is to look at the picture and to get your own channeled message from it. So if you're not sure what this relates to, maybe it might help you understand what it relates to, or maybe you'll just get some additional guidance. So almost like a wild card. This is just for you guys to interpret. So Akashic Records, please just give us a card that will really support everybody in understanding and integrating this reading more. Let's see. So, okay. So just stare at that and see if you get any more information. Cool. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. Like I say, definitely just take a little bit of time to process that. I do always feel like this as well, and just because it was quite a deep one, I do feel like you guys with this turquoise crystal here, I do really feel like you guys, if you do meditation or something like that, you've got a native red Indian spirit guide that can support you with uncovering more about what this is all about. And obviously if you want to go with that, just explore it yourself. And maybe if you do some guided meditations to do with your 12th chakra, that might help as well. Although to be fair, I don't know that I've ever seen any on that. Because this is the thing, you're really truly going into completely unknown territory for you and for the soul tribe that you're from, and from the soul lineage that you're from, and the family lineage that you're from, because you saying yes to this is you creating in a completely new way and a completely evolved way into what you have ever experienced before, to do with whatever area of your life this is. So it's a big thing. Yeah, cool. So I'm just going to leave that there. Like I say, I hope that was useful for you. It's really specific, or it felt really very specific to me. So if this doesn't resonate, choose another pile. Other than that, if you'd like an extended reading, you can find me on abigailgracepsychic.com below. My website's there. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. I'll leave the links below. And I also have another YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, so you can check that out. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed that reading. And yeah, I just really feel this, and I feel this deeply. Yeah, it's just a really, really powerful one, this one. But yeah, just definitely give yourself a bit of time to process it if you're not totally sure what it is. Cool, so I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.